Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Signpost. My role is all about learning problems businesses face and then bringing a solution to market to helping their day-to-day easier. So in that, I've heard a lot of the pain points and problems that business owners face when it comes to managing their stress on a regular basis. And we're also approaching a very busy time of year. So we want to be mindful of this going into this busier time to make sure we have clear goals and realistic expectations on what is possible and what isn't. This webinar is designed to help give you ideas and inspiration on how to manage stress with practical solutions that we've heard from our Signpost team and from our clients. In the next 25 minutes or so, I hope to provide some inspiration for these techniques so you can strive for balance in your daily life. If you have questions as we go through this, or if you want to add your own personal insight, please utilize the chat. Here's our agenda for today. So first, we'll talk about how to prioritize mental health and wellness during stressful times. Next, how to make time in your day to do what you love. And then preventing burnout will help you attract happy customers, as we'll discuss. And lastly, how to use technology to offload some of those stressful and time-consuming tasks. First, let's jump in with prioritizing mental health during stressful times. So a lot of business owners have trouble creating boundaries with technology, people, expectations, and really what they plan to accomplish in a single day. This chaos and trying to do everything at once leads to burnout, as we all know. So what can we do ahead of time to prepare for the more stressful times? This is where effective habits can really help you efficiently manage your time. This can be done by setting boundaries, exploring a technique called time boxing, and using your most productive hours of the day wisely. So, by setting boundaries with technology, people, and conflicting priorities, you can stay focused on one thing at a time. Set aside dedicated time to scroll on your phone, for example, or respond to personal messages. And set social time as well. Maybe it's a lunch break with your team or meeting up with a friend for lunch. This can help eliminate ongoing distractions throughout the day without feeling like you're missing out and losing that connection with others, which often then bleeds into our other productive times and make it feel like we're trying to do too much at once because you don't want to drop the ball on social time or when people are talking to you or need something to you. But if there's that dedicated time, like a lunch break, for example, your employees who have questions or things they want to catch up about can save it for that specific time where they know they'll have your attention. Time boxing. I really like this one. I use it in my personal life. So you can set aside dedicated time for each task and set a limit. This will prevent it from sweating out and consuming more time than you planned. I know for me, if I don't set a limit for how long I think it's going to accomplish a task is going to take me to complete, it can bleed. And then all of a sudden there's 3 hours where I half did it, but then also was answering other messages or trying to multitask. And then it just leads to it feeling like it's never really done. And I've contributed way more time to it than it really deserves. So time boxing helps you prioritize and be realistic about your availability. So you get to pick, oh, I have to write a series of emails or I need to make sure I call back everybody that reached out to the business yesterday. You can estimate how much time that's going to take and block out that time estimate. And if it doesn't get completed, you can add on another 20 minutes to see if that's going to get it done. But over time, you'll be really good at knowing how long things take and how much time you should commit to those things. Something I do when I time box is set a timer. So that way I can put my phone away, I put it elsewhere, I put it on do not disturb. You can also like put a sign on your door, whatever you need to do to make it clear that you are blocked off in that time. And then I set a timer so that I'm not looking at the time all the time. I'm not tempted to check anything. It's that time is dedicated. And once the alarm goes off, that's when I can stop, get up, walk around, get a snack, and then reconfigure my calendar if I didn't finish that task. Another personal piece of advice that I found really helpful is to consider your most productive hours in a day. Use that time towards your high value tasks that you want to accomplish in that day. For example, if you work really well in the morning hours, you have that energy, your coffee's kicking in, and you feel like you can really check off some important high value tasks right away, do that. Get up for it. Make the time, block the time and make it happen. But then if you crash later in the day in the afternoon, you already know you've completed those high value tasks And you can let yourself take the breaks when you're feeling low, when your natural rhythms go down. So that's a good way to use time boxing in tandem with your most productive hours of the day to make sure you're setting yourself up for success. A Signpost client mentioned that responding to messages, and this is just an example from our clients, to give it, a practical application. So a Signpost client mentioned that responding to messages was taking up all of their time during the day, making it near impossible to achieve anything else. They found that responding to all messages that came in over email, social media, and all their other channels was making it just expand, and it felt like it was taking up their whole life. So what they did instead was say, the first hour of the day is dedicated to responding to all these inquiries. The rest of the day is all the other tasks managing existing customers. And later on, we'll talk about other solutions like communication tools that they can implement to make sure they're not ghosting anybody when they're not actively responding to them. But that's an example of how they time boxed that task to make sure it was efficient. They were focused on it during that time, but it wasn't bleeding into all their other priorities. Next, let's talk about making time in your day for what you love. Many of us, especially business owners, spend so much time working that there is little valuable time left in the day to do what you want to be doing, right? To solve this, it's critical to create boundaries and enforce them to get the valuable break time back into your workday. So you can focus on certain aspects of what you do best, delegate tasks to other team members based on their strengths, and really take intentional breaks with high value relaxation time. So to start, consider what parts of the job you do well. A lot of you got into this business because of a passion or expertise of some part of it. The more you invest your time into your passion and your reason why, the happier you'll be. I know it's hard as business owners to lose sight with everything going on, everything that feels like a personal responsibility, but that is where other team members or outsourced solutions can come in. Delegating to others. You've hired a team for a reason, and they are likely in their role because of their passion too, right? And they are passionate about some aspect of the job, and you can lean on that and play to their strengths. Not everybody likes customer service, but some people really do. It fills their cup, and they feel so fulfilled in making those meaningful connections with your clients. Lean on that. Your team member will be happier for doing what they do and playing to their strengths, and you'll be happier too, feeling like you don't have to juggle things that they would happily take on. The value of a break. So we know that breaks restore focus, prevent decision fatigue, increase creativity, increase productivity. One research study suggests that when faced with long tasks, it is best to impose brief breaks on yourself. Those mental breaks can help you stay focused, and it will lead to a better output overall. So we know this. I mean, it makes sense. Taking a break helps you just like zoom out a little bit, take that mental stress away, let your body come back to a calm state, and then you can come back to the problem or whatever task you're faced with a renewed sense of awareness and creativity, so you can just make it the most productive and effective accomplishment instead of trying to push through it when you're not feeling it. Something else to keep top of mind is how you're spending that break time. I found that sometimes I don't want to do anything but just shut my mind off and scroll on my phone, but I never actually feel more relaxed for it. I know that if I push myself to have higher quality break time, that involves things I actually want to be doing. I have a more fulfilling day and I feel happier overall. I'm much better off for it. So some examples of that is to take a walk with a friend in the afternoon, get some fresh air, why not take a drawing break, let that time be an expression of what you love. And then at the end of the day, you'll just feel that fulfillment from that break time, but you also get the benefits of the break time, which will lead to, as we said, like better productivity. An example from a client I talked to was that he really liked the idea of being the one to answer all the calls. He was single-handedly the one to respond no matter the time of day or night, over weekends, over holidays. That was a huge priority for him. But it was creating so much stress. It felt like he was never stepping away, and it took a lot of time for him to trust a receptionist to help manage that side of the business. But once he did, they began to feel like he could step back, and the quality of service was going to stay consistent and even be better, because even though he felt like he was really good at customer service and able to personally handle those calls, because he was stressed and tired and interrupting everything else he was trying to do to answer those calls, the quality actually wasn't there as much as he thought it was, but he didn't notice that until he had a receptionist and could break that up and see that it really was providing a better experience for his customers and really helped him get his quality of life back. Next, let's talk about preventing burnout and attracting happy customers. By trying to do too much, many business owners are walking a line towards burnout. This ultimately negatively impacts the experience you're providing to your customers. So instead, set customer-centric goals and align your team on that collective goal. One recommendation that I think is helpful from Eastern Washington University is to create an assessment of your goals, and this will help you stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish with your business instead of trying to do too much at once, especially going into the busy season. Think of what you want to accomplish this summer, have clear goals, write them out, and make that the focal point of your day. Setting goals overall helps people feel increased optimism and improves performance. When considering your goal for your company, I meant to switch this slide. When considering the goal for your company, an important place to start is by thinking of the solution you're providing to your customer. What problem are you solving for them? Having a clear vision of your company can help you really align your mission to your customers, attracting people who are more aligned with what your company is trying to accomplish. That's how you attract happier customers, because you're both in alignment of what the ultimate goal is, and you're not just trying to chase every little thing that might be a moneymaker, but being really firm on the things that you do well. And that's what customers want, right? They want a business that's going to exactly meet and fulfill that need and solve that problem for them, instead of trying to split their attention onto all these other side projects. Marching towards one goal is a really effective way to just stay focused instead of chasing every single idea. And then when you align your company around this goal and mission, you have consistency across your team. It's not only great for your customers, but it can help your team stay focused around a collective mission, which has benefits like decreased stress and increased investment in your collective team effort. One of the most common refrains we hear from businesses, and business owners especially, is, "I have to wear so many hats." As much as it's common, we could be mindful of spending our energy on our strengths and lean onto our teams and other resources to prevent burnout and ultimately keep customers happy. If you could wear one hat, maybe even two, but one hat, what would it be? All right, next topic. How to use technology to offload stress and time-consuming tasks. Many businesses start out by doing everything manually instead of opting for software and services that could help them save time, stress, and ultimately help them grow their business. So it does have a good return on investment. These solutions specifically are designed to help you organize your business instead of doing everything manually, ultimately reducing stress, but allowing your team to achieve more and have real transparency into what's going on. Using a customer relationship management tool will help you manage your business processes overall. It can really take the guesswork out of storing contacts and clarifying your sales process. Here are some examples of popular CRMs. In addition, since your team can pull up a contact profile while talking to a customer, you can see their information, providing seamless context into who they are and what they've done, what has been done for them previously, and any notes that could be helpful to have compelling conversations, right? It's just a better experience if someone on your team who's answering the call can pull it up and see everything right there and refer back to things that were done and even comments about, the customer service relationship that is being built. It really does make customers happier, and it shows a level of care and personal touch. CRMs are really good at empowering those personal relationships and improving the customer experience. Another real key piece of software that really helps reduce stress for a lot of businesses is using technology like QuickBooks or another accounting software to streamline your finances. That transparency and the ability to zoom out can really eliminate stress, and we know finances are such a huge factor to stress. Another stress-fighting benefit of an accounting software is the security of it, right? All that information is stored in one secure technology instead of floating around on local drives in a number of Excel spreadsheets. And when it comes to a communication software, using Signpost can help you save hours every day so you can focus on what matters most to you. Some ways that we do this, and a lot of clients on the call can hopefully attest to this, ensuring everyone gets a response with our suite of instant response tools. We'll send that first reply to the inbound messages. So when messages come in through Facebook, Google, text messages, or lead sources like HomeAdvisor and Thumbtack, we'll be able to send that first reply on your behalf so that everyone gets engaged with. You get to convert more of those inquiries into customers. Like that story I mentioned earlier, our clients can focus on specific tasks while having that peace of mind that everyone gets a response. No one's getting ghosted. You get to bring people through the door. It's important to respond fast, as we all know, and we allow you to do that without interrupting your day. So you can really see a higher conversion with your leads. You also can manage communication from one consolidated inbox called the messaging hub. So instead of sifting through a number of tabs, trying to remember who said what where, you can see everything happening in real time across your most important channels. And this one's huge for me. I remember at my last company, I did marketing for a waste company, and I was responsible for responding to all these messages. So I would have all these tabs open, and I'd have to check them over and over to see if someone responded, if there was a new message I needed to respond to. But it was also very confusing to then remember that someone said something on one of those platforms and have to go back and search. If it was all in one place, like with the messaging hub, I could just search the keywords in the search bar and it would come up. So that would have saved me hours of every single day. And I think it's so impactful for businesses just to have that clear overview. As a bonus point, I know this isn't exactly technology, but it's powered by technology. Ensuring everyone gets a response not only by messages but with calls that are coming in is hugely important. And that's why we have a team of live receptionists. They're US based. They provide a consistent backstop for whenever you and your team can't answer the phone to make sure everyone talks to a real person. Plus, you get that coverage for after hours and weekends, giving you the peace of mind while you step back, enjoying your personal time by doing what you love without losing any new customers. Automation can provide a huge sense of relief. We hear it from clients all the time that it is the key to keeping them level-headed. Some other examples you could explore is like a field management software to schedule on-site services, but I'd be curious to know if you could put in the chat what other technologies you use to help you manage stress. So managing stress and preventing burnout is an ongoing effort. It's something we all face and have to continuously keep at the forefront of our minds to really turn these concepts into habits to prevent burnout ahead of time. These are a few ideas of many, but we would love your input. What has worked for you? What would you like to share? Drop it in the chat and we can talk through it. And I'll leave this on the screen while we're going through the chat. So if you're interested, if you don't have Signpost and you want to learn more, you can talk to a product specialist. If you have Signpost and you have just live receptionist services and just software and you're interested in getting the other one that you don't have, scan this QR code and talk to someone about it. And we have an offer going on for software and bundled packages, $100 off if you sign up by the end of the month. So that's on the screen. You can scan the QR code and I'll just give it a minute so we can watch for messages to come in through the chat.